Hi guys, this is Watch the Binge, and today I'm going to give you my thoughts on the new 6-hour HBO miniseries, The White Lotus. Before we get into it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. By doing this, you're helping us create more videos just like this one. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. There's nothing quite like a nice vacation. Just hope that if you ever book a beach getaway, Mike White isn't scripting it. This supremely talented comedian, writer, and director is back on HBO.
Creativity is so much more than making something. Creativity is like how we interact with each other. It's like trying to insist that you're alive.
Biting new miniseries about the wealthy and the staffers who serve them at an exclusive Hawaiian resort. For fans of White's deathly sharp comedy, Lotus is a triumphant, deliriously funny satire of the privileged classes against a gorgeous backdrop. For those who don't know White well, it is an exuberant comedy that might introduce them to his other work, such as Enlightened. Lotus begins with a mystery. At the luxurious White Lotus resort, someone has died. We don't know who, and we don't know how. The series flashes back to the days leading up to the death, introducing a colorful cast of characters, nearly all of them despicable, who could be the victim or killer. But quickly, the murder mystery becomes less important as the events at the Lotus unfold. The guests include Connie Britton as Nicole, a tech CEO attempting to wrangle her hapless husband, played by Steve Zahn, awful teen children Olivia and Quinn, played by Sydney Sweeney and Fred Heschinger, and Olivia's friend Paula, played by Brittany O'Grady. Jennifer Coolidge as the emotionally unstable Tanya on vacation to scatter her mother's ashes, and Alexandra Diodario and Jake Lacey as newlyweds Rachel and Shane. Working at the hotel are chameleon manager Armand, played by Murray Bartlett, and spa manager Belinda, played by Natasha Rothwell, each of whom is taken advantage of, extolled, and belittled by the hotel guests. What happens in Lotus isn't as important as how the characters react to it, a trick at which White excelled. Bartlett, an Australian actor with a nice guy face and hidden depths of comedy potential, is the series' true standout. A feud that develops between Armand and spoiled rich boy Shane is among the most entertaining and shocking of events, and watching Armand attempt a smiling, pleasant facade as Shane acts more outrageously is sublime. But everyone is putting in exceptional work. Diodario, relegated to roles as arm candy and mistresses for much of her career, finally gets a chance to step forward with something meatier, playing a confident woman swept by a wealthy, handsome beau before she realized he wants to control her. Coolidge, best known for her roles in American Pie and Legally Blonde, also does some of her best work as insecure and needy Tanya, who latches onto kind Belinda, oblivious to the consequences of being the financially powerful person in a relationship. Britton and Zahn are surprisingly effective foils as a flaky career woman who isn't interested in breaking any glass ceiling that doesn't involve her, and her pushover husband, who veers from one emotional extreme to the next. With its teen characters, White and the Lotus, writers understand something that a few modern series do. That while technology and clothes might have changed with Generation Z, teenagers are still mostly dumb jerks. For just over 20 years, beginning with the indie movie Chuck and Buck, in which White also starred, he has made a career of examining, often in unsettling fashion, the gulf between the people we imagine ourselves to be and the people we actually are. He just gets to the core of what people are thinking and feeling instead of the show that most people put on, said the actress Jennifer Coolidge, a friend who plays an overwrought guest in The White Lotus. In White's scripts, he pokes his finger into those disparities and typically comes away with something very sticky. White wrote the first episode at the end of August and had the other 5 completed by the end of September. In late October, the shoot began, with the entire cast, Coolidge, Britton, Steve, Zahn, Natasha Rothwell, and Jake Lacey, among them, quarantining together at the Maui Hotel. Sometimes, during prep, White would look out of the window of his room and see some of the actors splashing below. I felt like I was the host who had a cool party, but I had to work in the kitchen. But it still felt good, he said. It was a pleasure to feel like people had been bounced out of their pandemic prisons to come and party at the Four Seasons. While White's stories typically focus on a sole protagonist, The White Lotus is an ensemble piece with multiple subplots exploring the perversions of power against a background of astonishing natural beauty. Actors quickly signed on, even though the salaries were unspectacular. There just was no saying no to Mike White. White had not necessarily intended to make another drama, especially during the pandemic. I don't really like working, to be honest, he said. As an introvert, he figured that quarantine would agree with him. And it did, until it didn't. When Francesca Orsi, HBO's executive vice president of drama series, called, he was feeling a little depressed. He was treating that depression by taking a road trip with his dog. He texted her some pictures. Orsi, who knew of White's work on Enlightened and likes to check in him every few months, was looking for someone to replenish a programming slate shrunk by the virus. She made him a proposal. Can he make a show in one location for less than $3 million per episode? Could he do it safely? It sounded hellish, White said. But he decided that he could, and almost immediately he had an idea. Growing up in Pasadena, Calif, White took budget vacations to Hawaii with his family. They awakened something in him, an awareness of otherness. It was kind of the first place where I realized there is another place and another culture and another life outside of the life I lived in Pasadena, he said. In short, amid the Hawaiian hijinks and gorgeous backdrops, Lotus goes deeper into its dissection of wealth inequality and is blisteringly critical of all involved, no matter how well-intentioned. When idealistic Paula thinks she can help a native Hawaiian bellboy she's crushing on, it goes disastrously wrong in a way that conveniently doesn't harm her. White may hate the odious oligarchy of wealth he portrays, but he isn't naive enough to suggest that the power will ever be punished for their misdeeds. Lotus may be cynical, but it is not depressingly so. The brilliance in the series is its balance. Never too cringeworthy, too shocking, too slapstick. It's the Goldilocks level of just right, and enormously entertaining for all 6 episodes. But it might make you think twice about visiting Hawaii. Well, that about sums it up for today. Let us know in the comments what you think of this review. If you liked this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We'll be back later this week with more exclusive content.